Hi, Chris Stevens, president of Uncle Dan's. We're here at the conclusion of our 6th afternoon with Uncle Dan, and a beautiful, late summer afternoon here. We actually ran a little bit long, but the food and the company was so good, we really don't care all that much. I want to take a minute to introduce you to Brett Fontana. He's the executive chef from the Hayden Lake Country Club. He made some great dishes. We're going to talk to him about where he came from, his background, and what his inspiration was for today's dishes. So, hey, Brett, thanks a lot for coming. Appreciate it. You did a great job today.
Thanks.
Yeah, so where'd you get your start?
I am actually from Spokane,
Yeah,
but I had quite a tour of education.
really?
Like back when I was younger, I had a scholarship, a Rotary scholarship. I had the chance to go to Switzerland for a year, and I worked in Seattle and Houston, and New York. So, been around a bit.
Great. Now, this was really your first opportunity to work. You've known Uncle Dan for a few years. You've been the executive chef at Hayden Lake Country Club, or he's a member. And this seems to be kind of like your first experience with the Uncle Dan's product line. How'd you like it?
It is. Actually, this morning was the first time I actually tried the dressing mixes.
Really?
And I came up with a few ideas, brought some products with me, and then during the different courses that we did, I just tried to explain like how you put together for myself a menu or a course.
Right.
You think of the different characteristics, different
flavors.
parts of a dish, the starch, the protein, the main character, and then what are you going to do to tie that together?
Right.
So with the seasonings you have, they're actually salad dressing mixes, but we use them for seasonings.
Right.
And a lot of them that you saw were like with no mayonnaise or sour cream. We just used them with a little bit of
the main ingredients we call for on the package is sour cream and mayonnaise, but you've gone completely away from that and decided to give us something that was just fresh and nice. I think it worked really, really well. All the dishes you made were stupendous. Mm-hmm. I love that. The bruschetta one and the Fontana bread, your bread company. Tell us a little bit about Fontana bread and where that came from.
Fontana bread has actually been produced for over 20 years, and it just is a very loose dough, natural, hand-formed bread that has a fresh garlic and herbs and olive oil just baked right into the loaf.
And there's a little bit of heat in there too, with some red pepper flake. Did I get that in there?
Peppers and the fresh herbs and garlic.
Now, you brought them over. When I first took them out of the package, they were a little hard and dense, and you actually said this bread gets better when you heat it up a little bit. Either toast it or warm it up in the oven. You get some softness coming through, and the flavors.
Some of those breads that are made with starters like that, like bagels, that are actually a very slow raised dough. Right. When they're cold, they're hard and stiff. You warm those up a bit, they just like come to life.
So it's taking your bread that way is kind of like some of your cuts of meat. Some of you want to cook high and fast. Some of you want to slow it down and let everything kind of break down and do its thing. You're doing kind of the same thing with bread. Well, hopefully we got you a new account out of it too, because it sounded like Super One Foods was interested in that product line too, so it's nice having them around. One of the things that I think was really creative about Brent's menu today is he didn't really put a lot of thought into it. This is something he woke up in the morning. He's known about this for a few months now, and he just, like most of the chefs we've had, just kind of put it on the back burner until the last minute, which is okay. He really put it off to the last second, I think, and woke up in the morning and said, hey, this sounds like it's going to go really good. You took kind of a Rachel Ray approach to it, I think, and using the leftovers, use what we have in the fridge. You're coming home from a long day at work, your wife is like, honey, what's for dinner? And you're like, oh, give me a minute, dear. And you took that stuff you had in the fridge, you took the Uncle Dan's, you put it together, you made some great dishes, you made it fast. We're just really, really impressed with what you did. We're glad you came out and gave your time to us today to show these people the experience that Uncle Dan's can bring to the table. We really appreciate you taking your time, and I want to thank you again for some fantastic meals, and we look forward to seeing what you create down the road, and we hope to have you back next year.
That's right. I always say, like, during one of the videos when we were taping, I said, like, don't be afraid to make it taste good. Yeah. So once you decide who the characters are going to be on your plate, then you look at your seasonings, your dressing mixes, and just use those to give it that punch, make them taste good.
Taste is not a bad thing. Don't be afraid to mix sweet with savory or savory with spicy or sweet with spicy. We've had some crazy things. We had a chocolate chipotle bacon ranch ice cream, for God's sake, and that thing was just off the hook. Yeah. You brought us out a nice little risotto today. So a little creamy risotto with some Uncle Dan's country dill. And the last second takes pineapple, takes some Uncle Dan's chipotle ranch, sprinkles it on the pineapple, and you threw it in a pan and cooked it. It was out of this world. So don't think that these things need to be difficult. They're really quick. They're really easy for you to do at home. Please try the product line. Go back, watch Brent's videos. The recipes are on the line too, including all the chefs. We'd like to thank you very much for continuing your support of An Afternoon with Uncle Dan's. We look forward to seeing you next year. Thanks and have a great day.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Good one.